Can you feel it? That persistent, almost agonizing tug of regret. The knowing what if that lingers like a phantom pain from a past decision, whispering that perhaps, just perhaps, a crucial piece of the puzzle was let go too soon. Remember the sting of that departure? The collective sigh of disappointment. The sense of vital spark extinguished when Nazem Kadri, a fiery, skilled center who embodied the very grit and passion Toronto craved, was traded away from the blue and white. What if, against all odds, the universe offered a chance to rewrite history, to bring back a piece of the past that still feels undeniably vital to the present? This isn't just idle speculation, a wistful glance into a bygone era. It's a deep dive into a scenario that, while fraught with complications and low probability, demands consideration. The Toronto Maple Leafs, in their relentless, almost desperate pursuit of a Stanley Cup, must, by all accounts, at least ask a question about Nazem Kadri. It's a question that speaks to the heart of their identity, their needs, and the ghosts of decisions past. Let's cast our minds back, shall we? With all due respect to the unfortunate failure of Kyle Dubas to re-sign Zach Hyman, the decision to part ways with Nazem Kadri was arguably his most significant misstep, involving an already established, impactful player on the roster. Kadri wasn't just a player. He was a lightning rod, a fan favorite, a player who consistently elevated his game in the playoffs, albeit sometimes crossing the line with his intense competitive fire. His departure left a palpable void, not just in the lineup, where his two-way play and offensive punch were sorely missed, but also in the hearts of a significant portion of the fan base. There was a sense that a piece of the team's soul had been traded away, a certain edge that was irreplaceable. And it's precisely because of that lingering sense of error, that profound feeling of mistake needing correction, that there's an overwhelming, almost desperate interest among a segment of the Toronto Maple Leafs faithful to rectify that decision. Even if Kadri is now 35 years old, carrying a substantial $7 million AV contract that runs until he's 38, it's a testament to his enduring impact, and perhaps the perceived shortcomings of the team since his departure, that fans are willing to overlook the practicalities for the emotional satisfaction of a reunion. It's a powerful testament to the connection he forged with the city and its passionate supporters. It's also worth noting a fascinating twist of fate. The general manager who signed Kadri to that very contract in Calgary, Brad Treliving, is now at the helm in Toronto. At one point, Treliving clearly believed that deal was a good idea, a worthwhile investment in a player of Kadri's caliber. Perhaps, just perhaps, he could be persuaded to think so again, to see the value in a player he once championed. However, the situation is far from straightforward. It's complicated by a web of bruised egos and lingering resentments that extend beyond mere business. Kadri himself was reportedly hurt by the Leafs' decision to move him, a sentiment that doesn't simply vanish overnight. And regardless of whether it was Dubas or Brendan Shanahan ultimately responsible for separation, both are no longer in their previous roles within the organization, theoretically clearing the air of that specific layer of embarrassment and personal conflict. But the more palpable pain, the more immediate emotional hurdle, might be the division between the Calgary Flames and Brad Treliving. In theory, one would expect front offices to operate under the cold, hard philosophy of, it's not personal, it's business. In practice, however, business often involves a significant amount of emotional, even spiteful decision-making. Unless the Flames genuinely feel they have an opportunity to fleece the Maple Leafs, to extract an exorbitant price that makes any personal animosity irrelevant, a deal might not even be possible. The human element, the pride and perceived slights, can often trump pure logic in the high-stakes world of professional sports. But for the sake of this discussion, let's assume for a moment that the Flames and Treliving can indeed rise above their feelings and engage in a purely transaction negotiation driven solely by what makes sense for their respective franchises. The first and perhaps most fundamental reason for the Leafs to even consider Kadri, before we delve into his specific attributes as a player, is the stark reality of limited options on the trade market. The unicorn, that mythical 20-something player with incredible speed, a burgeoning offensive game, and the potential for a 100-point season, is simply not going to materialize on the trade block. Such players are foundational pieces, rarely move unless a team is in absolute disarray. And even if such a player did become available, the Leafs, who are currently without a first-round pick for the next few seasons, would not be in the strongest position to acquire him, lacking the high-end draft capital that commands such talent. Making concessions on speed, salary, and age will be crucial for Toronto as they navigate this challenging market. And in that context, they simply cannot afford to ignore Kadri, a proven commodity who, despite his imperfections, brings a unique blend of skills. Now, let's talk about Kadri the player and why he remains such an intriguing target for the Maple Leafs. There are a multitude of positives that make him a compelling option even at this stage of his career. While Kadri may not be the fastest skater on the ice, he moves the puck with remarkable quickness, a testament to his elite hockey IQ and rapid processing speed. In today's NHL, where possession and rapid transitions are king, that ability to process the game and distribute the puck swiftly is a significant asset and a great starting point for a team like Toronto that thrives on offensive flow and generating chances off the rush. He doesn't need blazing speed to impact the game. His mind works faster than most. The fact that Kadri is a natural center is another immense advantage, providing the Leafs with invaluable flexibility. It allows them to either deploy Kadri in his natural position, anchoring a line, or crucially, to shift either Kadri or John Tavares to the wing, creating different looks and optimizing their top six forward combinations. This kind of positional versatility is a luxury for any coach, allowing them to adapt to matchups, cover for injuries, or simply to spark a struggling line by changing up the chemistry. Furthermore, Kadri's ability as a puck mover and carrier is another significant asset for the Leafs. While he may not possess the sublime, effortless puck-carrying artistry of a Mitch Marner, he can certainly be considered a Marner-like option and potentially the best available on the market for that specific skill set. He's not William Nylander when it comes to carrying the puck through the neutral zone with dazzling speed, but he moves the puck almost as effectively, ensuring that the Leafs' top 9 forwards aren't forced into a detrimental dump and chase mentality. His presence will help maintain possession, facilitate clean zone entries, and keep the offensive engine humming, a critical component of Toronto's high-octane attack. Kadri also brings a much-needed dose of 200-foot responsibility to the forward group. While he's by no means a dedicated penalty killer, or anywhere near the defensive acumen of a truly elite shutdown forward, he plays with a certain awareness and commitment that can elevate the overall defensive effort of his line. He's not afraid to get back, to engage in puck battles, and to play a more complete game than he often gets credit for. But perhaps Kadri's greatest differentiator, and something that both Craig Berube and Brad Treliving are undoubtedly yearning for, is that elusive quality of polish, a refined edge, a competitive fire that manifests in a myriad of ways. Kadri plays with snarl, with an intensity that can be both a blessing and a curse. When he's not serving suspensions for that very snarl, he's often drawing opponents into penalties, creating crucial power play opportunities that can swing the momentum of a game. If care is defined by the number of shoves a player delivers to opponents after the whistle, then Kadri cares quite a bit. He brings a physical element, a willingness to engage in the dirty areas, and a playoff-tested temperament that the Leafs have at times sorely lacked, particularly when the games get tighter and the stakes get higher. He's a player who thrives in the crucible of intense competition. Now, let's flip the script and consider why the Calgary Flames, despite any lingering animosity or bruised feelings, might actually entertain a trade with the Maple Leafs. The short answer is simple. With a 13-team no-movement clause, the Leafs might genuinely be one of the best, or even only viable options for a trade. Things would be much simpler if Kadri still had a full no-movement clause, allowing him to dictate his destination entirely. In that theoretical scenario, Toronto would likely be a top choice among a very limited pool of contenders. However, a 13-team no-trade list gives the Flames significantly more flexibility, but also a strategic challenge. It's easy to imagine 17 teams in the NHL looking to add a center of Kadri's caliber. But Darren Ferris, Kadri's notoriously shrewd agent, is highly probable to have tailored that list to include playoff contending teams in the Eastern Conference, minus the few Kadri might specifically not want to play for, while strategically excluding rebuilding clubs that wouldn't offer Calgary the future assets they desire for Kadri, or Pacific Division teams that Calgary wouldn't want to improve. This strategic manipulation of the no-trade list could significantly narrow the field of teams both willing and able to make a deal with the Flames, potentially making Toronto a more prominent option than it might otherwise be. The Flames also have a potential advantage in Brad Treliving himself. He might be one of the general managers who values Kadri the most. He is, after all, the GM who brought Kadri to Calgary and signed him to his current deal. It's entirely plausible that Treliving, knowing Kadri's capabilities and character and what he truly brings to a team, might be willing to pay the highest price to bring him back to Toronto. This speculation, of course, should be a source of some concern for Leafs fans, as implies a potentially inflated asking price, a premium paid for a player the GM knows intimately. And while the Leafs may not possess first-round picks in the immediate future, they do have a collection of young players who could be attractive to a rebuilding or retooling Flames squad. Players like Bobby McMann, Nick Robertson, and Kaye Jarnkrok could not only provide Calgary with usable assets, but also allow the Leafs to shed salary by sending them west, creating crucial cap space. These are players who can either slot directly into the Flames lineup, providing immediate impact, or be moved again for further assets, continuing Calgary's rebuild. The Leafs also have the possibility of offering a goaltending prospect, which, now that Dustin Wolf has been promoted to the NHL, is a position of significant need within the Flames prospect pool, offering a valuable piece for their future. There could also be interest in players with NHL potential like Jacob Quillen, or a high-upside target, such as Miroslav Horinka. And with the Flames already holding 2 first-round picks this year, they might be more amenable to waiting until 2028 for a Leafs first-round pick, especially since another first-rounder is likely to be part of any return for Rasmus Andersson, further bolstering their future draft capital. Despite all the compelling reasons for both sides to consider this, the viability of a Kadri trade remains incredibly low. It's probable that these clubs, given their history and the Treliving Flames dynamic, are still not interested in doing business together, preferring to avoid the perceived awkwardness or the risk of being outmaneuvered. There's also a significant chance that the Leafs simply won't have a way to make Kadri's $7 million salary fit under the salary cap without moving out substantial money, which complicates any deal immensely, requiring a complex series of transactions. Furthermore, it's entirely possible that one of the other 17 teams on Kadri's potential trade list has a more attractive first-round option, or a package of prospects better suited to Calgary's specific needs, outbidding Toronto. And perhaps, just perhaps, this entire discussion is simply the wistful longing of a Leafs fan looking longingly at a Kadri jersey hanging in the back of the closet, hoping to wear it again, a powerful blend of nostalgia and unfulfilled desire. What seems certain, however, is that Nazem Kadri will be traded, and soon. The Flames have just 5 games remaining until Kadri hits the significant milestone of 1,000 career games. And according to reports, after that benchmark, he's gone. His 1,000th game is scheduled for November 5th against the Blue Jackets, assuming he stays healthy, while being traded the very next day would be, at the very least, bizarre. All signs point to a deal happening sometime in November as the Flames look to maximize their return for a valuable asset. So, if it's not Kadri himself who ultimately returns to blue and white, Brad Treliving must, at the very least, consider Nazem Kadri as the model for the ideal target the Leafs should be pursuing. Instead of waiting for someone who might be promoted to a frontline role, they need someone who comfortably fits into a top-line role, someone who can move the puck with ease, and perhaps a player who comes with additional advantages, such as a term contract, plays center, and possesses that crucial physical or gritty element in their game. There's a lot of hope riding on the Leafs' ability to identify and acquire such a player, a true difference maker who can push them over the top. And that's precisely why even the low-probability pursuit of Kadri makes so much sense. It's about recognizing what's missing and actively seeking to fill that void with a player who embodies those essential qualities. What are your thoughts on this potential reunion? Is it a pipe dream fueled by nostalgia or a necessary inquiry that the Leafs simply can't afford to ignore? A strategic move that could pay dividends? Do you believe Kadri's return would truly solve some of the team's lingering issues? Or would his age and contract be too much of a burden? A risk not worth taking? We want to hear your passionate takes, your strategic insights, and your unfiltered opinions in the comments below. And if you're as captivated by the intricate chess match of the NHL's trade market as we are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis and breaking news. Your engagement helps us bring you more of the content you love. Do you think the emotional pull of Kadri's return outweighs the practical concerns of his age and contract for the Leafs?